3 hours a day is the time an average Filipino spends on the road just to get to and from work. Now that's 900 hours a year. More than a month of someone's life is just spent commuting to and from work. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brian Hu. And just like you, I'm a Filipino and I hate traffic. Now, what I'm here to talk to you about today is about a certain passion of mine, of how I want to solve real-world problems. It's the reason why we came up with Grab. It's the reason why we are so passionate about what we do in Grab. Now, I gave you those statistics a while ago. Now, what does that mean? How does that translate in the economic sense? On average, that's around 100 pesos per minute that you waste in traffic every single day you are out there on EDSA. That translates to 2 square meals for the average Filipino. Now, imagine how many people we can feed if we can solve this problem collectively as a society. What else are we missing out on? We're missing out on learning 3 new skills, and we're missing out on genuinely connecting to 2 potentially new friends. And I'll show you what we are trying to do in Grab to solve these things. This is a very familiar scene. It's everyday rush hour. Right? This used to be Friday night, but now every single day, actually even outside of rush hour, this is what it feels like out there on the road. But when we started Grab, we didn't start Grab setting out to solve traffic. We started Grab with 3 key pillars. The first one was safety for our loved ones, to make sure that they would have safe rides to get to where they want to go. Second was comfort. We all know how the taxi industry was 5, 6, 7 years ago. We wanted to create comfortable rides for people who would need to take these forms of commute. And of course, speed. We wanted to get you the cars quickly so you could get to where you wanted to go quickly. I'd say we succeeded in the first 2, but it was very difficult to get cars quickly to those people booking if they were all stuck in traffic. Fast forward 7 years later, we were still met a bit of mild success. We hit our first billion rides 5 years, 4 months from when we started. We hit our next billion rides, quick 9 months after. And a quicker 6 months after, we just celebrated our 3 billionth ride last January. Now imagine how much more we could have done, how many more lives we could have impacted if we set out to solve the traffic problem from the get-go. So what did we do? With great number of rides comes great responsibility. What we did was we took all the data we had, all the technology we had, and said, let's set forth and try and solve the problem of congestion. The first thing we came up with was a product that some of you may be familiar with called GrabShare. So GrabShare allows us to have the same number of cars but move more people. This also allows you to reconnect to those 2 friends that you potentially would have lost by meeting someone on your commute. But GrabShare is a social solution. This is not a pure tech solution that we put out in the market and people would use it. GrabShare only gets better with more users. This was a big social experiment on our part. This is when we realized that if people came together and wanted to solve a single problem, it would create a virtuous cycle. The more people use GrabShare, the more rides would be matched, the cheaper prices would go, which would then bring more people into the system. Now our rides on GrabShare contribute around 20% of the Philippine market. And this country has the fastest growing GrabShare market out of all our markets in Southeast Asia. The average detour is only 15 minutes. Now we can get that number up to 40%, 50%, that average detour time would drop down to single digits. And we will be able to create safe, comfortable, and quick rides for a broader population. The next thing that we've been trying to do at Grab is to present a multimodal solution. Multimodality in transport is not something new. It's actually very common, but no one has really thought through it from a tech solution. We experience multimodality in transport pretty much every day of our lives when we're not in the country. We would take trains, buses, taxis, we would walk. But here in the Philippines, the most common commute for a lot of us here in Metro Manila is taking a single mode of transport to and from your home to where you want to get to. What we're presenting here is a solution where you would break up the commute. You'd think about taking your first mile either with a four-wheel vehicle or with a Grab or with your own cars. Take the middle mile with mass transit and allow more people to move in fewer vehicles in that main stretch of the arterial road network. In your last mile, you would be able to have that 0 to 3 kilometers, that last 0 to 3 kilometers with what we call personal mobility devices, which I think you've seen here outside of your, right across your campus. So, by combining the different modes of transport, we are helping to solve traffic because we are taking congestion out from those major networks and spreading that out by creating different options for people to get from where they are to where they want to go. Now I can imagine a world where congestion is a bit less, and I can then go home from clock off work at 6 p.m. and expect to be home in Quezon City coming from Makati in an hour. I can imagine a congestion-free Metro Manila where I can get from Makati to BGC. It wouldn't take me 2 hours. And I can imagine a congestion-free Metro Manila where I can look commuters in the eye and tell them that they can do more, be more, and live more if we all take a collective approach to solving traffic. Thank you, everyone.